Welcome to Home Health 360, a podcast presented by AlayaCare. I'm your host, Jeff Howell, and this is the show about learning from the best in home health care from around the globe.
Hey, Home Health 360 fans. Today we have Nick Bonitatibus. Nick is the owner and founder of The Digital Champs. You can find them at thedigitalchamps.com. He helps home care agencies generate more sales, attract more referral sources, and hire more caregivers, all through the power of video. So, Nick, I'm going to go ahead and accuse you of being the only video marketing consultant exclusively focused on home care. How do you plead?
It's the truth. From my own knowledge, that's what I know.
Well, give us a little bit of background. I learned today that you actually spent some time at Sodexo, so that was something new. But tell us a little bit more about your journey into where you're at today.
I started off my career right out of college in 2014 working for a home care consulting company. And that was how I got thrown into this industry. I've been in this business or in this industry for a decade. And through that time there, I just learned a lot about the industry. My role was to do the video marketing and social media for that consulting company. And in 2016, I got the opportunity to actually speak to home care owners about social media. And it was in that moment, it was such a pivotal moment in my mind of when something changed, because I got off stage and I just knew that was something that I wanted to do. I want to speak more. I want to teach more. I want to coach more, which eventually led to me going off on my own and wanting to really go all in and help more agencies to really be able to leverage the powerful medium of both video and social media.
So I thought when we first chatted that you had a pretty niche offering, and first of all, only targeting home care, and then only being a one sliver of marketing, which is video. I love how narrow the world can be these days. You have an even more niche offering where I said, well, how many different packages you have? And you said
one.
So what is it that if someone hires you, they get a certain number of things from you within a certain number of months? So what is that?
Yes. Basically, you get 12 videos. It's actually evolved more than 12 videos because we actually repurpose the clips into 1-minute clips. And then we also create multiple versions of our recruitment video for attracting caregivers. So it ends up being closer to like 20 videos, and we get that all done in less than 6 months.
Got it. And then the price does range. It sort of depends on what is involved. But I just loved how you have this really productized service where you've looked at it and you take these companies that need help with their video. You could be offering more for the people, but you've come up with this package on what you think is what the average home care agency needs to get going. Can you give us a little bit more detail? So if they get 12 core videos, now you're starting to slice those up so that they get these extra snack-sized videos. Run me through, if I'm a customer that's knocking on your door, what kind of videos am I getting? Well, why is it 12? And bring me through the process.
The big thing about this and through creating this program was that I realized through trial and error, which is why I only have one product offer, is because I had courses, but people don't watch courses. They buy them. They don't always watch them. If they do watch them, then they don't do it. And so it was through this progression and even working with people from a coaching side, I still found that there was these pieces missing. And so I have a very unique process in how we create the videos called digital directing, where we're actually just creating this content on a call similar to what we're on right now using Zoom or Riverside. And we leverage this so that all you have to do is show up to a call with me twice a month. So that's 2 hours a month, and we get this done. You don't have to watch any courses. You don't have to watch any training. You literally just have to show up.
Okay.
And then through my experience and really understanding and knowing this industry, I've focused each video with the intention of leveraging it in your market. So it's not just about making videos, but actually getting results with the videos that we're creating. So video number 1, we create your why video telling your story. Simon Sinek says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And buying is so important because that's not just clients, prospective clients. It's also referral sources. It's also caregivers. They need to buy into you. And so that's always the first video we create because it's the most impactful and it's the one that you can use again and again to drive results within your business. The second video we create is a recruitment video because I know that you guys want to hire more caregivers. It's a huge need. And the number one way to do this is through social proof. And so what we actually do is we get your caregivers to talk about how great you are. And there's a whole system and questions that we ask to interview our caregivers and then creating a compilation video. And that becomes our video number 2 that we leverage. And you can use again and again. You can put it in your hiring automation. You put it on your recruitment webpage. You can use QR codes for flyers. So many applications that come to creating this. And then basically 3 through 12 are all focused on education and becoming an expert in your industry, right? People want to do business with who they know, they like, and they trust. And a lot of people in this, they say they're great. They say they know what they're talking about. And what we do is we prove it. We show that you know what you're talking about, that you are a true expert in your field. And we do it strategically based on how you want to market and leverage your business.
Okay, love it. I'm taking a lot of notes here. I feel like your knowledge of the industry and what you just described, there wouldn't be any other competition out there. I feel like videographers that serve all industries would show up and they wouldn't really understand how to write these storyboards and create a really structured process that you can repeat.
Yeah, and it costs about 20 times more than what I charge. If you Google how much a videographer costs, it's like 10 grand for a 30-second video. So we're talking about 20 videos for a lot less.
Got it. What would you say, and who do you serve? I've seen some of the who's who in the franchise world. What would a typical customer look like for you?
In what regards? So like franchise or independent? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. So we work with a variety. I would say it's maybe 65-40 in franchise to independent. So it's a really good mix of both. We're working with a lot of the different franchisees, big ones, small ones, all over the place.
What would you say, what are agencies getting wrong about video today? And for the ones that aren't using video at all, what are they missing out on?
One of the things that I think it's important to clarify in getting it wrong is that they think just having video is what drives the results. And so they hire some company to make stock video and anyone can make that on Canva. Go ahead, do it. It's not going to work. It just doesn't drive results. Even explainer videos of just like talking about home care. They're no different than your website. They can read that same thing that you just put into a video. But when you actually leverage your own self in what some people call talking head videos, where it's you, it's a real person. That's the difference that we're creating, is having a real person behind the brand, because people don't want to work with logos. You're dealing with someone's loved one, someone's patient. We need to make sure that they trust you. And that comes from showcasing who you are as a real person. And if you've ever seen this, I'm sure you have, right? You send an email and somebody misconstrues it. They're like, they didn't fully understand because there's no tone in emails. But video, there's no mix. Like, this is what you're getting. You're getting the video, you're getting the tone in what you're sharing and what you're creating. And as for the people that aren't using video, and maybe you're thinking right now, oh my gosh, no way. I don't want to be on camera. I can't be on camera. I don't want to do that. And that is exactly what so many other people are thinking. And so just by doing video, being willing to show up and get on camera automatically separates you from so many people, because most of the people that I talk with that aren't working with me do not want to get on camera, do not want to do it. They're afraid of the judgment, worrying about what people will say, what people will think, worrying about perfection. Oh, it needs to be this, it needs to be that. But if you want to stand out and you want to be different, then you need to be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do. And this is a way to differentiate yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a saying for this, but a picture is worth 1,000 words and like a video would be worth, 1,000,000 words, right? The ability to storytell and to evoke emotion. And you're so right. Like, people think that they buy with logic, but they don't. They buy with emotion and they rationalize it with logic.
Yeah, Maya Angelou says people don't remember what you said or did. They remember how you made them feel.
Right. So I'm imagining another excuse or way people procrastinate is, they think that it needs to be perfect and that they need all this fancy equipment. Sounds like when I'm your customer and I'm showing up twice a month that you're just recording me through Zoom or Riverside. Bring me through like what kind of equipment someone would need to sign on board.
Yeah, I have no requirements to the video quality. That's up to them and how they decide. But I do recommend that you get a webcam that is at least 1080. You can get 4K if you want, which you can get a nice 4K Logitech webcam for like $150. If you get a 1080, it's cheaper than that. And then I recommend some form of a microphone. You can get a fancy podcasting mic like this one, or you can just get a lapel mic that plugs into your USB that's about $20. So from a budgetary standpoint, it's very affordable to make videos with a webcam and a microphone. That's all you need.
Yeah, sure. And in fact, there's some value in the production value being low because then it's, just sort of like is a little bit more authentic.
Exactly. And because of that, the reason why I mentioned this earlier, video production agency that comes to your office, they're lugging $20,000 cameras to your office with huge lights and studios with the production crew and all this. And that's why it costs so much. And so because we do it this way, we're able to keep the cost down as well. And you're able to create so much more content. But like you said, the biggest thing is that authenticity, that it doesn't seem like you're this massive conglomerate, but you're just a real person. You're recording in your office, talking about content that people need to hear.
It's really the substance and not the style that matters. And in fact, so we do a lot of video as well. And we just came back from our user conference and we had a ton of video that was on the main stage. And it was all shot with our producer Ryan's iPhone. What we have splurged on is we have a couple of wireless lapel mics and they basically communicate right to Ryan's iPhone. And I Googled them. I think it's about $1,000 for the set just to make sure that we've got top-notch audio within any scene, so we can walk around.
Gotcha.
But I mean, we could also be using just a $200 or $300.
There's a $20
boom mic or a shotgun mic.
There's a $20 lapel Bluetooth microphone that you can get for your iPhone that I use and recommend to my clients when they're doing more mobile videos. I went to an event, a franchise event, and recorded videos for them, testimonials. And when you look at them, you'd think that they were professionally made, even though it's literally a $20 microphone and my iPhone.
So for the video number 2 that you produced, the caregivers doing this compilation video of saying how awesome the home care agency is, how do you collect those? Are you jumping on Zoom meetings with all of them, or are you using something like Video Ask, or is there some kind of technology that you're using where they're recording on their own phone and they send it to you?
Great question. The recruitment video is done a little differently than a lot of the other videos. I guess I'm coming back on exactly what I said, but this is the one piece that's outside of our calls that's like homework, I guess you could say, from the clients. But I'll say this, there's a reason for it. So one of the things that, and again, this is from my understanding and knowledge of the industry, is that your caregivers, from a retention standpoint, the touch points are so critical in that we are having consistent touch points with our caregivers to encourage long-term retention. And so basically what I have my clients do is to bring in their caregivers to their office and record the content. Now, some of my clients have done it on their phone, but I recommend you just do it on Zoom. You set the caregiver up in the same spot that you record your own videos, or that we're recording our own videos. Have them sit in your desk, have them put the microphone on, right? Do all the things that we've already set up. It just makes it easeability. From my experience, recording on your phone sometimes makes it more difficult to transfer the files to a cloud base. It just takes forever to upload, and it's just a big kind of mess. Whereas when it's right on Zoom, it just makes that process a little easier. And so then there's a whole series of questions that I have that are all geared towards leveraging sales psychology and understanding that people want a transformation two of the core questions that we ask are, what was it like before working with us and what is it like now? What you're able to see through that process is really the caregiver saying something like, I really didn't like the company. They didn't appreciate me. They had poor communication when I came here. They had great communication. Now they're showcasing and they're hitting on key pain points that they have from previous companies that a prospective caregiver may be currently having at that time. So you're going to solve my problem. We're not going to have that problem anymore. And so then they want to come with you. And then what's really revealing about this interview process is if there's certain things that your caregivers aren't saying, then maybe there's room for improvement. And so you can actually use this opportunity to ask them additional questions that maybe aren't even part of the interview, that we're not even recording, and asking things like, hey, I noticed you didn't say anything about communication. How would you rank us in that area? What are some things that we could do better in that area? And so now you're leveraging this interview process to not only get marketing materials that we're going to leverage and utilize, but you're actually using it to gain more real feedback from your top caregivers so that you can improve your whole internal operations, recruitment, and retention process.
Weren't you telling me a story about a caregiver award ceremony and then there was a deadline and there was an agency that was able to get something like 20 to 25 videos?
I did do that one time. That was a unique situation, but that is where we used Video Ask, which you mentioned, which is a cool way. So what we had done was we had a very specific deadline to this awards ceremony. And so then she just had all of her caregivers and staff use Video Ask, send the link out, and just like talk. And you get a very mix when you do that. It's a little less controlled, but it can work effectively in scale.
And I will try to, you jump in if I don't do it justice here. Video Ask, I think the website is just videoask.com. The number one use case is to text a link to customers. And when they click on the link, it'll open up their video recorder and they can say a testimonial about you. And then when they hit finish, it texts or emails that link back to you. And then you can download that video file. So it's the easy way to collect testimonials from customers. But then another use case would be from your own caregivers to shout out your company in the hopes that that would help recruit more caregivers. And then the other use case that I've seen, it's very, very rare, but I saw this lawyer who has a Video Ask video on his website. And when you press play, it's like choose your own adventure. And he says, hey, I help people in 3 ways. Which way would best describe you? And on the video, you can click which one it is. And then the next video pops up and says, oh, you selected, this service. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about that. I thought it was an amazing way to funnel prospects down. And I have never seen a home care agency do that, but I just thought it was such a cool interactive video that would be really cutting edge for home care. I'm sure you probably haven't seen it either, that anyone's gone to that extent to use it, right?
No. Yeah. And I think that would be so cool, right? Because I think home care is very unique where they're like in this constant process of trying to both recruit clients and caregivers. So when you have that, it's on your website, like where are you targeting your audience above the fold, as they say with your website, who are you speaking to? So something like that could be really valuable. But like you said, yeah, Video Ask is great if you want to get client testimonials and you're just sending out the link. Although at the same time, you can just go out, record it on your phone too, to avoid. This is one of those things, it's just in my experience that people are terrible with technology. And so, yes, Video Ask is as easy as it gets in my mind. It is so simple. You can put prompts in. So let's say you wanted to have them ask a series of questions. You can have them like record and answer the one question, and then it'll be like, submit. Great. Review the video, record again. No? Okay. All right. So then you move on and then it can go to a different question. And so you could set it up in that capacity, right? Where they're just like answering the question. Some of the other issues that may arise is like somebody just keeps recording it again and again because they're trying to get it perfect. And then they're like, I don't like how this sounds. And then they don't send it. And now they don't submit it. That's why I try and take more control over the situation to avoid those things. But it's a very cool tool, and you could even utilize it with referral partners and be like, hey, can you send me a 1-minute video about how you help people? boom. And now you've got this list of video clips from your referral partners. Potentially. I just thought of that on the spot right now. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Well, I know when I came to AliaCare, we were not using video in our outreach at all. What I've really discovered was there were 19,000 leads that I was in charge of being in touch with. And I just thought at the time, what I did was I did a one-to-many approach with Vidyard. So I'll give you a few tools here, folks. Vidyard is Vidyard. Most people are probably a little bit more familiar with Loom. And then there's Wistia, Wistia, which has a Chrome extension called Soapbox. And each of these, if you pay for the pro version, it's somewhere between probably $100 to $300 per year. And they all have free versions. And they all come as a Chrome extension where you can just hit the Chrome extension and it records either yourself or your desktop or a combination of the two. So if you're selling something like software, you can do a screencast and show them something that your software can do. But also you can just basically package a short video that ends up going as a thumbnail with a clickable link and a play button right within a video. And it's also very rarely used in home care, but you could do a one-to-many video where as soon as a caregiver applies for a position, you could be recording a short video that automatically gets emailed to them saying, hey, thanks for considering us and applying. We are currently reviewing your resume. Someone will be in touch soon, and maybe other resources. You could be doing PowerPoint presentations. It's a huge differentiator. And think about, the impact that you would have as a caregiver applies to 10 different jobs. And you're the only one that actually sent any kind of a video right from the owner. And I think you and I talked about this, right, Nick? You have a client that's doing something along these lines?
So yes, because there's multiple applications. I recommend utilizing Loom. That's just the one that I use and talk about. But again, it doesn't matter which one you use, just a matter of sending a video message. What we do with the automation, right, is like more of that like polished video more often than not. But one of my clients actually where he is succeeding very well in utilizing this is actually in the client base when he gets done with a consultation. So he walks out of their home, he gets into his car and then records a video and says, hey, thank you so much for your time here. Here were some of the key talking points that we went over, and then sends them that video thanking them for basically their time. And he joked to me, he's like, works every time, just closing deals, like constantly utilizing this technique. Now, obviously, that one is more of the one-to-one where you're sending it to a very specific, where I do have some clients that will just create a video utilizing Loom, sending messages to their caregivers, just like showing appreciation, giving them updates on things that are going on in the business. So it's more of a retention tool, but it should absolutely and can be utilized in the recruiting, especially if you did, obviously the personalized makes it a little difficult, but you could have a recruiter doing this where they're sending that personalized video. But even if you just created, like you said, a video that's, hey, thank you so much for applying, and sending that to everyone is going to be so much more than what other people are doing.
So I love that idea. So he gets into the car and it's really just a simple thank you note done by video. Is that right?
Yeah. You can even take it one step further and record another video after you've signed up the client and wrap up everything that you just heard from the client, things that they need to know about their care plan, and then send it to your team.
Yeah.
And now your team has all the information versus like some people will call their office and then say it over the phone, which is just to me such an ineffective strategy of communication where there's no recording. It's all someone has to listen to everything you're saying and then re-record it, or you're sitting there and typing up an email. So what's easier, send a 2-minute video or type up this really long email about what you just said? Send the video. Now you got this recording. They want to look at the transcript. Does Vidyard do transcriptions of the videos also?
That's a good question. I think a lot of them are coming out with teleprompters so that you can actually get your message across without having to take as many takes.
I got a video literally today from somebody trying to sell me something, right? And it's like, hey, I've got this video for you. And whenever I see that, I'm always curious to see like how they decided to go about doing it. And I've seen this done a couple different ways. One, they just take the thumbnail to be your website, and then they say this like generic message. So it's not actually personalized. They just use your thumbnail. They have an editor that just makes the video with your website as the background. But this one actually said, "Hey, Nick." And when I looked at it, I analyzed it closely, and her mouth is like off. Right.
Okay.
So they're using some form of AI for her to make this personalized video. And then the rest of the video is just like a pre-recorded classic. But that's, again, where people are going. Or this is a whole rabbit hole of like AI and how people are utilizing things in that sort.
I've done a number of music videos to get people's attention. And one hack that I would use is in the first minute, I would have some custom text to show that this is specifically for Nick, right? And then it would clip away to like the 90% that is purely templated. But people do feel that extra love that, at least the very first part, I put your name in.
Yeah, I'm sure it works for most people. I'm just like always looking for it because I like know. It's so rare to me that and that's why a lot of times, like when I'm sending personalized video, like let's say I go to a conference, I meet a bunch of people. What I'll do is I'll actually send the videos and I will try and reference things that we talked about in the video. And it's like a 1 to 2 minute video.
Yeah.
If I can keep it to 1 minute, great. But like that always goes so much further in that personalized message of people really, oh, wow, I can't believe he took the time to actually do this. That's the whole idea behind it. Is that when you're doing the thing that other people aren't willing to do to take the extra time is why it works so much more effectively. And there's a number of ways that you can do this from a retention standpoint too, with your caregivers, sending them birthday message when they do something great, then you just send them an appreciation. I send Loom messages to my video editors on my team, just thank them. One of my editors said, "Thank you, you just made my day." It took me 1 minute.
Yeah, and really stood out. And then you also get the dopamine of seeing the metrics when someone opens up your video and watches it. So you get that feedback loop that the time was well spent as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you can follow up if they don't open it. Hey, you didn't watch the video. What the heck?
Here's the second video to follow up on the first video. All right. Well, we're almost bumping up against our time here. I'll get you out of here on this. If there are agencies that at the very least, they want to get started with some kind of a YouTube channel, do you have any hacks on how you would point them in the right direction to just at least get started with that?
Yeah. So what I would recommend is I actually have a free course called Home Care Brand Mastery that you can check out. That's the plug answer. Okay. But if you wanted like a more tactical approach here and just getting started, think about what your audience is and what you want to brand yourself as. So one of the things when it comes from an educational side of things and really getting started in YouTube and where you can do very well an SEO and organic standpoint, one of my clients did a video about bathing with dementia. It's got over 10,000 views, purely organic, just from people searching for this information. One of my other clients has over 200,000 views on how to use a Hoyer lift. So it just goes to show you that people need this information. People are looking for this information. And so if you can be that expert and you can share this, it's going to be really valuable. So don't try and speak about things that you're not comfortable talking about. And then it makes it so much easier. Think about the things that you find yourself in your industry repeating constantly to clients, whether it's when you're in consultations with them, when you're over the phone, when you're just any point where you're talking with them is going to be really valuable. And then also if you want to brand yourself as a certain specialty, let's say dementia, for example, which is a common one that people want to brand themselves. Great. Then make a bunch of videos around dementia because now you actually are proving that you are said expert in dementia when you actually have a bunch of resources and videos that people are sharing.
And it's not just a video that sits on your YouTube channel. What you do is you embed those videos into the content that matches on your website. And then that helps your search engine optimization rankings. So if I Google dementia home care San Diego, and Nick has a 10-minute video on everything you need to know. And I click on his search result and I read the words on the page, but then I spend 10 full minutes watching that entire video. Google's going to take that as a strong signal that that is the web page that has the correct answer. And so it's going to give it upvotes to rank higher in Google. And then I'm also going to be going down the sales funnel where I'm more and more convinced that this is the company that I want to work with, because by the end of the video, I probably know, like, and trust you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what's really cool about video is that the way that I teach is that it can be your whole entire digital marketing strategy. And so it starts with making that one YouTube video, right? You make this one YouTube video, and then like you said, you put it on your blog, take the transcript of the blog, throw it in a ChatGPT, hey, convert my transcript into a more well-read blog. Boom. Now you've got this blog that's based on the things that you talked about in the video. Then, if you're doing any leverage in email marketing, which hopefully you are, even though a lot of agencies do not properly leverage email marketing, now you can drive someone to that said blog based on your email marketing and say, do you struggle with this? ? And then boom, now you're taking them to this educational video that's on your blog. Now you're driving your email to your blog, which is then increasing your SEO. You're driving people to the video, which is then increasing video views based on your already existing following. Then you can repurpose that same video where you can chop it up into smaller bite-sized pieces, post that across all social media channels. And so from this one YouTube video, you've gotten a blog, you've got an email marketing, you got a social media campaigns, and then there's ways that you can leverage it in your direct referral marketing. I have my clients actually print out like postcards with a QR code that says like home care education, and then it goes to their YouTube channel. So now you can go to your referral sources and say, hey, did you know we have a YouTube channel? And now you're marketing and using as like a leave behind. You can put it in client folders, you can get to caregivers. Now you're actively promoting the YouTube channel as a resource.
It's the perfect flywheel. I do want to drop the name of a really cool tool that you tipped me off to prior to us going live here. It's called Opus Clip. The website is opus.pro. And this is a AI generated, you can take one long video and it'll chop it up into 10 viral clips. And you tested it out. The first versions of this kind of technology you weren't that impressed with. This one kind of blew you away. And I think the freemium model is something like you get 5 hours worth of video you can upload per month. And then the price thereafter, I think, is like $10 a month or something like that. But it puts those really cool graphics that you see on TikTok and Instagram, and it doesn't cover up people's faces. It just seems to be that they've really figured out. So being able to repurpose content, like you've been saying, and marry it with the power of AI, it's pretty exciting times to be able to create content at scale like this.
When we create a 1-minute version of our YouTube video, it is done by an actual editor so that we're like, it is a little bit better than the AI. But as I was talking to you before we jumped on this recording, I was so impressed by its ability to pull out the best information from the content and doing it without just the easeability of being able to upload. You can even just put a YouTube link and then it will just take that YouTube link. But this actually brings up a topic I wanted to point out real quick. A lot of times a home care agency owner will be like on a radio show or be on someone else's podcast. And so often they're not properly utilizing this opportunity. If you're going to be on something, like promote it, you should be posting on social media. And then now with these AI tools, you can even get the recording and repurpose the content. There's just so many ways that I see agencies that are putting effort towards something and then not fully utilizing what they're creating. And the same thing goes with video. And this is what I say all the time, is that we're not making videos to post on social media one time. That is not what we're doing. We are building assets that you can leverage again and again. That's what makes YouTube so much better than all of the other platforms, because when you post on all the other platforms, it goes to the newsfeed and then it's basically gone. Nobody's really finding your older videos, but YouTube will just keep showing whatever your best video is over and over again. So even just to use me as an example, I have one video on my YouTube channel that has gotten me, it's consistently getting 20 to 50 subscribers like a month, whereas all my other videos are not doing those same numbers. So it's one video,
right?
Just like driving all of this traffic, getting new subscribers, people finding me. And so it just continues to work for me again and again. And the same thing can work in the home care industry. The Hoyer Lift example I use, another one of my clients did how to convince a senior to wear an adult diaper. And then that video just has been driving more traffic to his page.
Right. It becomes the extended sales force that you pay for once and it continues to pay back over and over and over. So let's see if I have this right here, Nick. We've got your core offering is the Create Your Why video is number one. Then you've got the recruitment video, which is a compilation of what your caregivers are saying. Then you've got the 3 through 12, which is the educate the world on what you want to be known for. You splice up numbers 3 through 12. So people get about 8 more digestible, about 20 videos in total over the span of a 6-month engagement to get everything done. Clients show up for 2 hours a month and all they really need is a decent webcam and maybe a $20 lapel mic. And it sounds like a pretty good offer to me. Did I miss anything?
No, I think that covers it. We're editing the videos in case that wasn't clear. And I have a team of professional editors. So your videos look to a higher level. And so to touch on like the authenticity of it being in your office and that element, but then we bring it to another level with branding, custom B-roll, highlighting key points, all of these things that really add to an animated and engaging video where there's constantly something moving on the screen the whole time, like really engaging videos. And that's what people want to see.
And you've got plenty of examples when people come to your website, they could actually kind of see your work speaking for itself. Well, it's so tangible when they can say, oh, yeah, I'd like a video like this, or this, or this. And you guys can turn that out. No problem for them.
Yeah, that's my favorite page on my website. It's just the examples. It's just all these things that my clients and I have been able to create. I'm just proud of it because I know the difference that they're making. There's a huge lack of education in this industry. And there's some amazing things that we can do just by getting this information out there, talking about how to better communicate with your loved one who has dementia or how to prevent falls in the home. This is content that can really make just a massive impact on the community. And so regardless of whether it moves your bottom line, most agency owners that I meet want to make a difference. They want to make an impact. That's why they chose this business over any other business. And this is one more way to really make an impact that's lasting because these videos can be timeless.
Well, I think you should plead guilty on my accusation of being the one and only a video marketing consultant for home care. So, Nick, thanks for being on today. Everyone, you can find out more at thedigitalchamps.com. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you. Guilty as charged. Appreciate you.
Home Health 360 is presented by AlayaCare. First off, I want to thank our amazing guests and listeners. To get more episodes, you can go to alayacare.com/Home Health 360. That's spelled Home Health 360. Or search Home Health 360 on any of your favorite podcasting platforms. The easiest way to stay up to date on our new shows is to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have a newsletter you can sign up for on alayacare.com/Home Health 360 to get alerts for new shows and more valuable content from AlayaCare right into your inbox. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.